This video is sponsored by Uscreen. So you want to start your own business so that you can have not only the finances, but also the freedom to travel the world? Well, let me tell you how I did it. Honestly, I just need to let it sink in that I'm even sharing this video right now because this has been my dream for so long. When I graduated university in 2018 and pursued entrepreneurship full-time, partially it was because I wanted to have the freedom to travel more often. Now I'm in Cordoba, Spain, working remotely while I explore beautiful Andalusia. The honest truth about my entrepreneurial journey is that I kind of stumbled into a business model that works remotely. My story as a business owner actually starts with me doing freelance videography gigs. I've been posting here on YouTube since 2011, and so I had built up lots of skills around video production and editing. And when I graduated university, I knew I wanted to pursue entrepreneurship, and so I put those skills to work creating promotional videos for local small business owners. And that was going well for me, but even at the time, I knew that I had a long-term goal of being able to travel more often, and I realized that by continuing to build a business that was based on doing local shoots for local clients, it was gonna make it difficult for me to travel more often in the future. So with that consideration in the back of my mind, I continued working away at my YouTube channel, which had grown very, very slowly over the years. And in February of 2019, I kind of finally had a video really pop off, and it was about Instagram hacks. So as I started sharing more of my expertise and knowledge around social media marketing here on YouTube, and my YouTube channel kept growing, I started getting more requests from clients all over the world for social media marketing and content creation services. So that kind of became one of my service offerings. So I continued doing my in-person video shoots locally, but I started taking on more and more projects with clients that were completely remote, based online. And then in March of 2020, well, we all know what happened. All of my in-person gigs got canceled, and so I kind of accidentally became a fully remote business. Thankfully, this was something that I had been slowly incorporating over the couple years leading up to that by doing these online social media services. But when I made the switch, it did mean that I kind of finally shut that chapter on doing my in-person video shoots for clients. So obviously the immediate result of that was me spending 2 years working from home, feeling isolated and just on my laptop all the time. But eventually it meant that I could leave my apartment and go out in the world and continue running my business from different places. So where I'm at now is I have a social media content creation agency called Creatorly Media. And in addition to that, I also have my YouTube channel and my own content, which has continued to become a bigger and bigger source of income for me. And both of those things can be done from anywhere. So that's my own story, but what could it mean for you as someone looking to start a business that allows you to travel more often? Honestly, it's gonna look different for everyone, and the fact of the matter is there are some businesses that just don't work remotely. They need to be done in person or locally. So if it's a priority of yours to travel more often and be able to work completely online, then it's something that you really want to keep in mind when you're building your business from the start. Because if I was dead set on just being a freelance videographer, yeah, there would eventually be opportunities where maybe I could shoot destination weddings or work with clients abroad. But that's gonna be a lot more complicated than just having a job that I can do completely from my laptop. So I think if you're starting from scratch right now and your priority is to travel, make sure that you keep that front of mind as you're brainstorming potential business models. I could list off all kinds of different remote oriented business ideas, but at the end of the day, I think it's really important that you develop a business that makes sense for you and is something that you're passionate about. I don't think it's necessarily sustainable or going to be a successful business path for you to just pick up some generic business idea from the internet simply because it allows you to work remotely. If you want to succeed with your business to the extent where it's actually going to help fund your travels, then it's got to be something that you're genuinely really interested and passionate about, and also ideally skilled in. And I honestly think that's the problem with a lot of these videos that talk about being able to work and travel, is they'll just give you 100 different online business ideas and say oh, anybody can do it. But the reality is you actually do need knowledge and skills to provide these different creative jobs. What would I be saying if I'm anybody can be a social media agency owner? It's I actually think there are some qualifications for that, which I worked many, many years to have. Now, obviously, that being said, that doesn't mean that you don't already have some of the skills that you might need in order to do some of these different online type of jobs or businesses. But I just don't personally believe that it's the kind of generic advice that I can just give to anybody. Oh, just try being a graphic designer. Oh, just try being a writer. Like, that's gonna be really specific to you. So while you can look up like lists of online business types to get inspiration, I think it's really important that you pursue something that you would want to do even if it weren't just for the sake of traveling. Like, I started this business because I just genuinely enjoy it. It's something I'm interested in, and it was a bonus to me that it meant I could also be location independent and travel. But I didn't just choose this because it makes me be able to travel. Like, I'd do it even if I was at home, which I did for many years. So that's just my personal little gripe with some of these digital nomad videos, but hopefully that helps you understand why I'm not giving just like a ton of specific business models for you to just like pick from the list and start doing. However, I do have some ideas that I want to share. As you're getting creative with making your business model location independent, one income stream that you might want to consider is launching a video membership platform. And the best way to do that is with the sponsor of today's video, Uscreen. Uscreen is the platform that you need to launch your very own video membership platform. And you might be wondering, what is a video membership platform? Well, if you're familiar with Netflix, then you already know how it works. Essentially, customers can pay a fee to have access to premium video content, your premium video content. So your followers or customers or clients can pay a subscription or a one-time payment or a rental fee to access your content. And the best thing about a video membership platform is that it can really work no matter what niche or subject area or business category you're in, even if you have a business that does require you to be in place some of the time. For example, maybe you're a hairstylist or a makeup artist. You can create premium tutorials for your signature looks that your clients can access via a one-time payment, for example. Or maybe you're a fitness instructor. You could create weekly workout videos that your clients can access on your Uscreen website through a monthly subscription. Or maybe you're an expert consultant of some type. You could host monthly paid live workshops using Uscreen's live stream feature. And with all of these options, Uscreen also allows you to create your own custom TV and mobile apps, which is amazing. When you're offering premium content like this to your clients, you want the experience of accessing that content to feel premium, and Uscreen allows you to do that. And it means they can access your videos either on their laptop, on their phone, or on their TV, whatever way is their preference. So if you want to launch your very own video membership platform, you can do that using Uscreen with the link in my description. The other thing to consider is if your business or your ideal business that you're dreaming of has some component that does require you to be in person, that's not necessarily a deal breaker. I think a lot of people think about the digital nomad life as like all or nothing, like you need to be able to either travel full time or you might as well just stay at home. But that's definitely not the case for me. I spend at least half of the year at my apartment back home in Canada, and then, you know, I travel for 2 to 4 months at a time in some cases. And that balance works really well for me, and maybe that would be ideal for you too. So don't get too caught up in thinking that you have to be able to be gone 100% of the time. If your business requires you to be based somewhere specific for a few months or up to half of the year or whatever, that's okay too. You don't need to necessarily travel all the time. I actually think that the best way to try out the digital nomad life is to slowly incorporate longer remote working trips rather than just, you know, renting out your place, putting all your things in a storage locker and like getting on a plane and saying, okay, I'm nomadic for good now. Like, that's a really big commitment and you might not actually like it. So I think it's totally fine if there's a little bit of a mix between you being based somewhere specific and then going on trips sometimes while you work. Okay, so that's my story of how I kind of accidentally, kind of on purpose, developed my own business that I can work from anywhere in the world, and a few ideas of how you might be able to do the same. But honestly, the most questions that I get about the whole digital nomad lifestyle is more about the logistics and the day-to-day. Like, how do I actually stay motivated and productive when I'm traveling all over the place? Especially when you're somewhere so beautiful, it can be really tempting to just go out and explore. So how do I stay on track with my work? So for me, what I have found works both when I'm traveling and when I'm at home is staying on quite a regimented schedule. Basically, I always work 9 to 5 Eastern time zone, no matter where I am. Now, mostly the reason that I do this is I'm not traveling alone. I'm with my husband, Dan, and he works a remote tech job and he has meetings between the hours of 9 and 5 Eastern. So that means he's got to be working during that time. So I might as well be working during that time too. And that means that we have the same like evenings off to go and explore together. While we're here in Spain, it means that we have our mornings off. So basically right now I'm working from 3 to 11 p.m. I honestly think it's so helpful to have a travel and working buddy because it helps you stay accountable to what your planned schedule is gonna be. And frankly, for me, my workload is such that like I need to be working that many hours to get everything done. So it would just stress me out more to work less often because I would just be even more rushed during my work hours than I already am. So once I have that schedule in place, then we plan activities around our work hours. So we plan stuff to do in the mornings. So we make the most of our time off and really feel like we get to experience the place before we have to put in our work day. So let's talk about what I need to get my work done while I'm traveling, like the actual physical items, because essentially I pack up my entire office into a backpack and take it with me to wherever we're staying. Obviously, I need my laptop. I have a MacBook Pro. Doesn't really matter the details, but yeah, this is pretty essential. Obviously, we're gonna need the charger cord, and then I also have this handy dandy international converter so that I can plug it in wherever I am. I've got my two external Samsung SSDs, so this is where I store all of my actual video footage on, and I edit all my YouTube videos off of these. And obviously, speaking of video footage, I need to bring my camera. I actually travel with a lot of cameras, more than I would need to do my actual job, because I have a travel vlog channel that's just a hobby of mine, so I capture a lot of my travels for the fun of it. But I do bring along a camera, a microphone, and my tripod so that I can film my YouTube videos, which is the biggest part of my job. Speaking of that setup, I will show you what it actually looks like because I'm filming with it right now. Welcome to this studio, by the way. Isn't this couch weird that this Airbnb has? Anyway, so yeah, here is my ZVE10 and this Peak Design tripod and my classic Rode Video Micro. And like that is honestly it. Like I said, I have more video gear, but I wouldn't necessarily need it for my job. So I can easily carry everything that I need to do my work in a backpack. Oh, and I forgot to mention AirPods. This is also very essential because often we're working from small Airbnbs, like we don't have our own workspace. So if you're gonna be doing meetings or if you're gonna be doing editing while the other person is working, noise canceling headphones are key. Speaking of little office setups, it's also important that you choose accommodations that are going to be conducive to you actually getting your work done. So this means usually no hostels, probably not hotels if we can avoid it. We try to look for places to stay that have a kitchen and have at least a dining room table, ideally a dedicated workspace. This is the dedicated workspace at the Airbnb that we're staying in right now. It's very small, but you know, it allows them to take the box. But honestly, even if we have like a big enough table for us to have our laptops and whatever else we need out while we're working, that's great. That's something that a lot of hotels don't necessarily have. And you can't expect to be productive sitting on a bed all day. Also, it's very important that you look for places with fast Wi-Fi, at least for our jobs, because Dan does a lot of Zoom meetings. I need to do a lot of uploading videos. So that's something that I also look for. We stay at a lot of Airbnbs and you can search specifically for fast internet and dedicated workspace when you're looking up accommodations on there. The thing is though, you can't always perfectly predict that a place is gonna work out. You might show up there and you might have loud neighbors, or maybe the Wi-Fi is not actually as fast. Like all kinds of different things can happen, and then you kind of need to learn to roll with the punches and figure out how to problem solve on the go. But for the most part, we haven't had too many problems. Fingers crossed for the future. So that is pretty much how I balance working remotely while traveling. If you like travel and would be interested in more travel content from me, I actually have an entire vlogging channel where I share me and Dan's travel adventures. You can go ahead and check that out. I've just started publishing content from our current trip in Spain, but there's a huge backlog of our previous trip of the Balkans and all kinds of van life content and stuff. So go check out that channel if you're interested. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having adventures and following your dreams, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!